Hello, hello, hello. We are here with another episode of Beyond the Game PE with the legend, Mike Morris. I'll tell you what this gentleman puts out on Twitter when he hops in on Voxer. I'm amazed. We interviewed him and his mama on the Voxcast. If you haven't checked that out, go take a look. But Mike is a fantastic individual. I like what he has so much that there will be back-to-back episodes with this gentleman. So before we go any further, Mike, give us a little background information. What do you do? Where do you teach? That kind of stuff.
I teach K through 5 PE in Rocky Mount, North Carolina at Battery. That's a K-5 school and Red. So I'm split between two schools. This is my 4th year teaching. I love what I do. Yeah, that's me. Love trying new things and love creating.
I love it. And you are a creator. I will tell you what, come up with real cool stuff all the time, which I love to see. And I've stolen many things from you because I do not create a lot. I just steal from the best. So here we go. You are going to tell us a little bit, please. Can you see this screen? Are we all good?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. So tell me what's going on in this video.
All right, so we were working on striking with long handle implements, bats, and I decided this is a 5th grade boys class. So I decided we were playing 2-person baseball, and they were going pretty fast, and they weren't scoring as many points, and they were hitting the ball really hard. So my space was very small. We didn't go outside because it was in the morning. The grass was wet. So I thought, hey, let's add a basketball to the fielder and add some dribbling skills in it. So what they're doing is they'll hit the ball off the tee. After they hit it, they'll drop the bat and try to touch the small colored cone and then go touch the tee to score points while the fielder dribbles to get the ball that's batted and place it on the cone.
All right. So here we go. So my question, I guess, to start, if the batter hits the ball and I'm on the opposite side, am I in charge of that batter's ball only? I have to get that specific,
Yes.
my partner's ball, if you will?
You have to get that ball. And when we first tried it out, we started out dribbling the ball, so they really couldn't see where the ball was going. So then I said, wait, you have to hold the ball until it's hit off the tee so you can see where the ball is going. And then they dribble to the ball and try to pick it up.
All right. I like that. Now, I have a question. If I were doing this game, right, if I were a kid, did any of the kids realize, listen, if I change my foot placement and I change where my bat head is, I can hit it in the opposite direction of where my fielder is?
Now, on this exact video here, this was the first time that I actually did it. I taught it to my all-girls class today, and what I focused on them was whichever direction that you step and transfer your body weight to, that's which direction the ball was going. So we practiced that first, and then we practiced the regular way to play without a basketball. Then I added the basketball, so they were whacking it wherever they wanted to. And at the end of my lesson today, which you'll hear when we get to the assessment piece, I had them self-assess themselves on how well they were able to place the ball.
That's fantastic.
So one of my assessment pieces today.
Nice. That's a really hard skill of being able to put the ball where you want it from there. So I like that. So let's go to the GLOs, right? We always have an objective in mind when we create an activity. So what was the grade level outcome here?
We were going with S1 E25, combining striking with the long implement with receiving and traveling skills in small-sided game. I
like it. So you talked about this. You said in the video that we saw that was the first lesson of that unit, of the striking unit.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
So let's talk about equity, right? So you have kids who are physically less gifted, you have your arm level, and then you have your gifted children. So where was the equity in this lesson? Did you have to change anything? Did you have anyone I mean, that one dude in the front left smashed that ball. If we were outside, that ball would still be in the air right now.
Yes.
Change anything up for these kids?
Um, I only had this, and this is an all boy. That was an all boys class. So they did have one student who is EC, and for him, I would have him, which he didn't have a problem doing this, but if he was to have a problem, I would tell him to take the ball and get his ball first, then try to dribble it to the cone.
Nice. I like that. All right. Let's go with the assessment piece, right? Where were you assessing? You said it was the long handle implement. What were we doing there?
So I was observing critical elements, whether they had the right body orientation, hand placement, and then, like I said, for today for my girls class, I added a self-assessment piece where they had 1, 2, 3, or 4. Then they were telling me, how well they did striking the ball, placing the ball when they struck.
And again, when we videotape the class, it's difficult to see that assessment, even the feedback sometimes, right? Because you just want a quick snippet to put out there to show people what's going on. Maybe they could use it, and we don't see that feedback, that corrective feedback of, hey, make sure you're standing sideways or stepping towards the direction, any of that. So I always like to ask that. We talk about the depth of knowledge. So obviously the recall and reproduction, they're going to have to be able to stand in the way that you had shown them or demonstrated or somebody in their class did. They're going to be able to swing the bat with proper technique, stepping forward, turning on the back foot, following through.
Yes,
let's talk about that. What's up, Mike?
We talked about horizontal swings and transferring your weight. So.
Now let's talk about the 3 and 4, right? These are where the good teaching turns into great teaching. And I asked you a little bit before about if my partner's in front of me and I want to spray it to a corner, how do we do that? So how did you add any extra thinking or extended thinking on this activity, either in this lesson or in another lesson with the same skill set?
Like how would I show them how to?
Any of that. How do we get them to? What were you doing to get them to think?
So when we first played, and I do this for each grade level, one of my questions is if I were to, when I'm explaining the game, because I demonstrate and I have a student be the fielder and I'm the hitter. So I ask them a question. I say, if I wanted to score more points, where should I hit the ball to? So that kind of gets them an idea. Oh, I don't need to try to hit it forward. I need to try to step towards one of the corners or hit it away from my fielder so that I can score more points by running and touching the cones. And that was a fifth grade boys class. So they were trying to, we have a wall in my gym, and I was telling them that if you hit the top of the wall, that's a home run. And they were so focused on hitting the top part, the bricks. I had to say, okay, well, if you hit it to the bricks, you get an automatic +5 on top of the points that you score. So they were trying to hit it away a long way, hit it to the wall to get that extra 5 points.
Nice. All right. So this is one of my favorite parts of the show where we try to riff and see what else can we extend on this activity. So for me, I'm thinking the kids are going to go for the home run. And in going for the home run, they're going to dip their shoulder. The ball's going to come up. They're going to be hitting the ceiling or going too high, which obviously we don't want. So if I were doing it, I would say if you hit the ceiling, that's a -5. So, you would still count the points, but if you hit the ceiling, you did a -5. Is there anything that you could think of right now that maybe you haven't even done, but you could add in there to make this activity even better?
Let's see. If the fielder catches the ball in the air or off the wall, it's an automatic -10 or automatic out.
Nice. Yeah, I like with the off the wall, I always ask my kids, do you want the wall to be off the wall, is it out, or do you want to play it off the wall? And I have them decide. So you could have 7 groups going, 3 of them are playing it off the wall, and 4 of them it's an out off the wall, which I like to leave up to them. I think also if you hit the tee That would be, you could put a negative in there to focus. And maybe if it didn't hit the ground to a certain point, you would get a bonus of 2 or 3 working on the line drives, which you want them not hitting the top of the ball. But again, just little things. I thought this was a really cool activity. I like how you put the basketball in there. Knowing your children, do they like dribbling the basketballs and you thought it could be an engagement? Obviously, you're a basketball dude yourself.
Yeah.
Was that something that you put in there, or was
Yes,
that
I knew that. I knew that once we threw the basketballs in there, they were really gonna love it because anything with basketball and like some of the kids, like I always do a, what are we learning today? Why are we learning it? And I say, can you tell me what sports use striking with the bat? And you will be amazed that about 2 of my classes, and one of them was a 5th grade class, they can only tell me one sport that uses a bat, and that was baseball.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about softball. They don't really know much about. So
Yeah, that is interesting. I like that. So, like I said, cool activity. Thought it was good. Anything you need to add for this episode that we need to know?
that's pretty much it, man. I wanted to come up with a cool name for it. What you think?
Oh man,
I thought strikers and dribblers.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, strikers and dribblers works. I don't know. I'd have to sit on it. You know what? I'm gonna wake up at 2 in the morning and it's gonna come to me. I'll be like, oh, and then hit you up on the deal on there. So again, first of 3 back-to-back episodes with the legend Michael Morris. Thank you, sir, and we'll see you in the next
Man.
episode.